And welcome back to Walk Ons here in Alexandria, Louisiana for the Thomas Bachman Coaches Show brought to you by Sadler's Towing.
One day we're gonna come up with a better name.
No worries, Coach. No worries. Hey, appreciate you being here. Appreciate the crew. We have a packed house again like last week
Yeah,
and
we got
excited about
we
it.
got great people, don't we? That's what makes it so fun is got great people. It's fun to see the house full.
So got Brett Stallsby pushing the buttons tonight. Had to make a little adjustment there for Coach Bachman's headset, but we can hear you. So, Coach, let's talk about last week. I know they say the biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, if that's true, tomorrow night's going to be a really good night for you because y'all
Yeah,
played well.
we certainly have a lot of areas that we need to improve, and certainly capable of improving. But yeah, I mean, it was good to get a win in week one. There was a lot of things that I thought that the boys did well, and the coaches had the kids prepared for and did well. I don't necessarily know what parts you want to jump into, and we can begin to dissect it. But it was good to get a win to start the year. It's been a couple years since we've done that, so here we go
Yeah,
on to week two.
with the exception of your first drive on offense, and then
Yeah,
the first drive on defense. I mean, it was all Trojans after that.
we
So
were we were close to going to to hitting that first play. I mean, when he breaks the line of scrimmage and he gets to the second level, there's always a chance where it's like, oh,
yes, sir.
if he hits a crease, nobody's going to catch JT. And so that was certainly the case there. When he broke the line of scrimmage, I was thinking, oh, he's got a chance to score. But picked up the first down. Of course, me as a coach, I'm gonna focus on frustrated that we started the game with the penalty. Um,
I wasn't going to bring those
yeah,
up.
no, I
That
mean,
to me,
those are
that
the
was the only
things that
negative.
we cover pre-snap, post-snap penalties. Just can't commit them, and we had a couple of them the other night. So, as you said, a lot of areas that I feel like, and the kids certainly know that they can improve on. But yeah, outside of the opening series, where honestly we had just some mistakes. I had the snap roll, get back there, so that's a wasted down on the screen. Some miscommunication on the screen where linemen are going one way and the screen's going the opposite way. So, not a great job of coaching and executing and making sure that I have communicated, what we're going on, and that was a third down. Um, believe in the kids, so we
Yeah.
went for it on fourth down there and probably put the defense in a little bit of a bind, but I felt confident and we had what we wanted,
Yes.
there. We just got a ball tipped and
Hmm.
batted down, and, that's part of it. Uh, and then they go down and score. So, it was pretty like, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? But didn't take long for Darius to grab momentum right back and then kind of controlled it from there on out after we had the kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yes, sir. That 97-yard touchdown kickoff return that was amazing because, like you said, the fourth down, they get all the momentum from that drive down and score,
Yeah,
and
and even
Darius
on
comes
that
right back.
opening drive, we had them like 3rd and 18,
Yes.
or it was 3rd and forever, and quarterback scrambles around, kind of throws it up. I thought when he let it go, it was like, all right, we're gonna pick this,
Right.
and you know, guy catches it, converts a first down. They're able to, credit to them. I thought that, as we talked about last Thursday night, the quarterback is a really good player, and I thought that he showed, his toughness, his
Sure.
grit, and then his talent and ability, throughout the course of a four-quarter ball game. I walked off that field with a lot of respect for his game and the way he played, and that third down, he made a great play, and they were able to convert it into points. We misaligned on the touchdown. They just run it right there. We're misaligned, and things that got to get fixed.
Yes, sir.
Obviously things to improve on, but
I think that was his only completion of the night. I mean, I
yeah,
think I'll look back
hitting
and
one to
think,
Jayton. Jayton does a
yeah,
great
excuse me.
job
That's correct. That
on
was
the
up for our.
interception, squeezes that guy, runs him out of bounds. That was a huge play right before half, allowing us to go back down and score. So,
Yeah, and that was up for our Southern Air Cool play of the game. We'll reveal that later,
yep.
but that one was definitely up. He did a good job on that. I will say that when they go down to score, obviously, Darius goes with the kickoff, right back.
Just grabs
44 unanswered. 44
grabs
unanswered.
momentum right back.
That's right.
Now you're all right. Here we go. Shot of energy on the sideline and kick off, and get a stop, get the ball back, and we go down there and get a field goal and take the lead. And really never look back. I think we scored on the next 5 drives.
Yes, sir.
As far as converting to touchdowns, it wasn't until the fourth quarter and until we had an empty possession again.
What did you see? And of course, we may have Coach Mercer on here later, but what did you see defensively that just changed from that first drive?
I don't know that anything changed. I thought we were playing, fine. I mean, took a time out there and kind of get after them a little bit there. I guess when they were starting to move the football, and that was second quarter. I don't know that anything changed. Settled in and played. Uh, we were a little bit thin. I'd say 3 of our top 6 defensive linemen were not in uniform. So, really proud of the way that some of those guys that got their opportunity to play performed. Ethan Richard being one that comes to mind right off the bat is, just a program kid. He's a junior and he's just worked and worked and worked. And then you go back and you watch the film and the way that he played, you're really, really proud. I think it's important that everybody remember we're growing a lot of kids up on defense.
Right.
There's a lot of pause the film, and there's a lot of kids out there getting their first varsity snaps, and they've been in the fire with some of the people that we've already lined up and played. So hopefully we continue to improve with every snap that they get on that side of the ball, just adjusting to the speed of the game. And that would be the thing that I would say, just the speed of the game and the intensity of the moment. I kind of laugh. It's second nature to us, and I even get a little bit anxious, but I can only imagine the level of anxiety for
Right.
these kids, in these moments before they go out there. There's anxiousness, and once they settle in and play, they usually fall back to the habits that they've created in practice. And for the most part, these kids work their butt off, and hopefully those are good habits they're falling back on. So, biggest thing is just settling and playing. Trust your eyes. Trust what you've been coached throughout the
Right.
week, and go play the game fast.
Well, let's segue into we have a new thing this year. It's called Express Pros of Alexandria. They're an employment group for us. We
Okay,
have you had one job, and we're going to give that award to an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. And this week we chose Grayson Thibodeau, new
absolutely.
defensive lineman. He had 8 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks.
Well, plays with great energy, plays with great passion, not afraid to be physical, playing on both sides of the ball. He's out there somewhere, and no, I mean that's a very deserving and a very great choice because he's a great football player, great kid. Just what a Nash football player is through and through.
He to me he was in the backfield all night. And some of them he missed but still he was there and like I said he finished 8 of them for sure.
Well, I mean the sack. I want to say it's in the fourth quarter at this
Yes.
point, and regardless of what the score is, still playing with a passion and an edge, and that was the thing that we were talking about Saturday morning is he didn't care what the score was, he was just playing the game, a kid that loves football and never really looked up at that scoreboard. He's just playing as hard as he possibly could, regardless of the circumstance, and that's what we want. That's what we're after. So yeah, I think that's an incredible choice.
Another one that we talked about, and he's gonna be our security sporting goods player of the game. And we talked about this on the way home.
Let's see who we got.
Cortez Simon.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was everywhere, and
Absolutely.
he doesn't necessarily come up on the stat
Block the
sheet
kick,
exactly.
which creates field position. I mean, he's making a lot of plays. Really, really fast twitch kid, and another one of those program kids that has just continued to work and been moved around, played a bunch of different spots, and it's getting out there, and he's really affecting the game.
Yeah, and he was part of the. It was him and Gaines who had the tackle when they tried the fake
Yep.
punt, and it was there to be honest with you. And
Playing with tremendous energy
that's
and
right.
and playing the game really fast. So another good one. Another good one. I don't know if I hadn't seen Cortez. I know he was here last week, but he's probably here. So
Well, while we're on that side of the ball, leading tackles. I mean, 16 tackles, 11 solo, 1.5 tackles for a loss. He was all over the field as well. I mean, I know you told him last week, just go get 20 tackles.
yeah, I mean, we need him to fill that role. I mean, he's very athletic. got experience, and we need him to run all over the field and get the ball on the ground. So that's a exciting thing to get in there and to begin to chart those things and see that the production is there. With those guys battling and eating up some of those blocks in front of him. So, I hope we're trending in that direction, and that's a normal thing where you wake up and say, all right,
And
we had
also
us
on the defensive line, I mean, of course, Jordan Mason. I mean, he's just an engine. He reminds me of Booger McFarland. He just goes, goes, goes. But he had a great game for it. And like you said, I knew you were down a couple of defensive linemen. I didn't realize it was that
yeah,
many.
and you need
Yeah,
him. He's
yeah,
one of the seniors that's out there. Grayson and J. Lou, Cortez, who we've already talked about. Some of the seniors, and you need those guys to step up in those moments. He's been nursing just a little bumps and bruises, but uh, appreciate the toughness and the leadership that was provided. When we were a little bit thin at that spot.
Before we move to the offense, let's talk about Terry's interception. I know you mentioned it earlier. I mean, that's perfect coverage. I don't think you can
Yeah,
cover
he's right
anything.
there, squeezing him, nowhere to breathe. Actually, runs him out of bounds, and it was almost he turned into the receiver, and a huge play right there allowed us. It's 24/7. Uh, if that ball's incomplete, or they might run the clock out. But we're able to get the interception, and I guess take it whatever we took it, 85,
Yeah,
90 yards, and really kind of put a stranglehold on the game at that point when it's 31-7. So, I mean, he's got a receiver in his background. Who knows what he's got in his future? But he looked like a receiver on
he
that
did.
one. Really showed up. Very coachable. I mean, that's Coach Free's nephew, so
Okay.
he's grown up around it. Been in the field house between Bastrop and here, when he was that small. So, I mean, he's grown up around it, and he's been held to a high standard every single day. So to see him out there playing well is really fun. Lets me know, we're getting a little bit older to see that he's out there on a varsity football game when he was just a youngin'. It seems like yesterday.
Gotcha. Now, for the record, we talked defense first, so hopefully Coach Nurse and
Absolutely.
Coach OJ's out there will be happy about that. But let's go to the other side of the ball.
Okay.
Probably the quietest 203 yards total yards of offense that we'll ever see JT have. It's not that he didn't do well. It's just it was just kind of one of those things. A game where he had bust plays and
I
had to
think
work hard.
yeah, I think we were talking about it after the game, and I was like, he probably had 120 to 150, something like that. And then you look up, and it's like got
Right.
178, and he just eats up yards so quickly. I guess when you have two that go for 40 plus and limited carries, I don't think he carried it one time in the second half. So
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think he did either.
when
Yeah.
you know just eats up yards in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. You're watching the Coach Thomas Bachman on 446 Sports.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
This month, as we gather with the ones we love, let's take a moment to give thanks for the blessings in our lives. When it comes to protecting what matters most, trust those who care about your family as much as you do.
I'm Jason Hawk, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm here to help you protect what you hold dear.
Whether auto, home, or life, have peace of mind knowing that your family is covered today, tomorrow, and for years to come. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace High and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons here in Alexandria, Louisiana for the Coach Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Saddler's Towing. And now I'm joined by Jimmy Duncan, number 2, just to my immediate right, and Darius Washington, number 3, to the two over. So, guys, great game this past week. Appreciate you coming out. And I want to start off by this. The Olympics were this summer. Okay, I don't want to know what event you would like to participate in, but what's your favorite event to watch?
Really the 4x1, because
4x1?
it's intense. Like it's intense, man.
You would pick the one that the Americans cannot do. What about you, Darius? What's your favorite event to watch in the Olympics? If you watch the Olympics,
I'll say the 100.
the 100.
Yeah.
Hey, see that one? We got a good win there from Noah Lyles on that one. He probably would have brought the 200 as well without COVID. All right, so let's move on to business. Okay, both you guys seniors. Okay, talked to Jacoby and JT last week. What's the difference this year between last year for you guys, Jimmy?
The difference is we the leaders this team, so we got to set a prime example for the young group that's coming in. So we got a big chip on our shoulder for this season.
Responsibility, accountability. What about you, Darius?
I'll tag on. We got responsibility we need to take care of. And I'll say that the other players, they expect us to be up there. So we need to do what we need to do to get the win.
All right, who's the hype person?
I'll say X.
X, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Ain't no worries. 2 offensive guys talking about the deep man. I gotta keep that one in there. So we're gonna segue into our Southern Air cool play of the game. And a lot of people are going to think it was your kickoff return, which it was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, and brought the momentum back. But we went ahead and went with your 34-yard bubble screen. And what was so impressive about that was not only the line blocking and the throw, but how you set up the blockers and the blockers were in front of you. So run us through that play.
Really,
Which this guy was helping, wasn't he?
Yeah, I knew Jimmy was gonna make his block, and I needed to focus on was catching the ball. As soon as I caught it, I could just work upfield. I just needed it was like a one-on-one at that point because Jimmy and Alex held they block, and I was just able to beat them and get in the end zone.
So whenever you see that play, okay, and it's called in the huddle, okay, what's your without trade secrets? What's your main focus? I mean, obviously you got to catch the ball, but once you get what's the first thing you look at?
The end zone.
The end zone. So you don't even think about it, huh? And you motion into the backfield. You play what we used to call a wing back. I was actually a wing back way back when. Okay, so whenever you motion in the backfield, you like carrying the ball.
Oh yes, sir. I always play running back, so it just give me a little refreshment.
Oh, so you were running back before this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so let's talk about this week. Okay, going up to Homer. Okay, I mean, going up to Union Parish, Farmerville. Okay, they're the Fitness State champs. Okay, they're 0-1 this year. Okay, they lost to North Soda last week. Okay, you guys watch film of their defense. What do you think about the defense you're going against?
To me personally, I don't think they're good at all. They got players, but they don't got they don't got no good packages and nothing. They just out there playing football. So we don't care about none of that state championship stuff. So we just gonna play hard, work, execute better than them, and make plays.
Like Trojan football, huh?
Yes, sir.
For me, it's just the little details. They don't like it as much as we do. We fight hard, battle hard, and it's just we go out and see who wins.
So whenever you guys, okay, would started at Ash, okay, when did you start playing varsity? What year you start playing varsity?
I've been playing all 4 years, but I started my sophomore year.
Your sophomore year?
Same.
How about you? Same?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So receiver the whole time, or
Receiver,
okay,
yes, sir.
I got you. Okay. Future plans. I mean, I know you may not have them set in stone, but you guys know what Jimmy, what you have planned?
I'm going to college. Hopefully I can get a scholarship. I got one right now, so I just hope I can get some big ones. But if I can take the little ones, that's cool. But really, I'm just going After that, I'm going to law school. So
I got you. Oh, congratulations. Well, whatever you do, okay, tell the coaches, go to 446 Sports. I know you guys have huddle.
yes,
Go to 446 Sports. What about you, Darius? You going to try to
Me,
play at the next level?
yes, I want to go to college. Probably make it past college. That plan B, I would say engineer, mechanical engineer for me.
Man, that's awesome. So, attorney, possible attorney, and an engineer. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So, any school in particular that any dream school or anything you'd like to? No, just want to play, huh?
yeah, I just want to play.
Yeah.
I love the sport, so
So,
just pick me up. I'll play ball.
you play any other sports, Ash?
Basketball, and I run track.
Okay. What'd you run in track?
I did JV track, but
Oh, that's fine.
yeah,
Sorry, man. I put him on the spot, didn't
but
I?
I did long jump at varsity.
Okay. What about you? You do any other
Track,
sports?
and I used to play baseball.
Okay. What'd you do in track?
Run 4x1 and 100.
Okay. Okay. Y'all had a pretty good track team this year.
Yes.
So what happened in state?
State.
No worries. But hey, I was following you. My son was a track athlete and it was a lot of fun. So what's something that you would tell the players, the receivers that are behind you? What's something that you would tell them just so they can, or even if it's something that, hey, enjoy it at this point because your time's gonna come. What's something you tell them?
I just tell them to pay attention, just look at us, look at the signals, then call out the plays. If you're right, if you're wrong, then just ask questions. That's a big part. Just ask questions and just learn.
What about you?
I say, what's for you is for you. Wait your turn. It's gonna come. Whenever it comes, make the best of it, because you don't know whenever you get another chance again. And things that you can't control, you can't control. You can't control if the QB give you a bad ball. You just gotta go up and make the play.
Man, we throw the QBs under the bus. I mean, they didn't do so bad the other night.
I don't know. They ain't bad. they could.
They get all the attention, right?
Yeah, most.
So, well, guys, we definitely appreciate you. We appreciate you guys coming up, joining the show. We look forward to calling your games tomorrow night, and the other ones going forward. We're going to focus on tomorrow night. So, Jimmy Duncan, Darius Washington. So appreciate you guys. You're watching Coach Thomas Bachman's show on 446 Sports.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons here in Alexandria, Louisiana. The Coach Thomas Bachman Show brought to you by Sadler's Towing. I'm joined now by Coach Josh Mercer, a.k.a. Merce. So, look, we spent 15 minutes the first segment. Okay, 11 of them were about the defense.
I was listening. I was really impressed
just
with y'all. Yeah,
I'm glad that y'all. I just want, just for the
it's
record.
about time.
Just for the record. Also, player of the game, Cortez Simon.
Absolutely.
Okay, now this is the 446. It's our security sporting goods, player of the game, and also our express employment is we have a new thing we call it. You have one job to do. Okay, this is from Express Pros in Alexandria,
Yeah.
and you heard it was Grayson.
Yeah,
It's
no,
Grayson Thibodeau.
that's an awesome pick too. Yeah,
Yeah.
both those guys, incredible, program kids. Cortez just being a guy that we talk about all the time. Just nothing's ever been given to him, by just his stature, his size. He's just a guy that just shows up every single day, and he's a max effort guy. You can see it on film with special teams last year. And I think it just his ability to go accelerate and Coach Bachman and us always talk about his suddenness, the way he moves, and I think track's a big testament to his ability to run and then Grayson Thibodeau is just a football player.
Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah, we were talking about Cortez in the scrimmage and the jamboree, and we mentioned that he's a linebacker mentality and a safety body is what we had kind of come up with.
Absolutely, yep.
The thing about watching your defense, and we'll go ahead and you had the first drive,
Yep.
forced offense, gave you a short field. Okay,
Yep.
whenever they go down and score, okay, what as coach, what changed? in the next?
I think it could be a lot of things. I think it's at one point we're 5 sophomores out there, first time in a varsity game. It's just kind of getting a feel of game flow, and needing those varsity reps on the field. You get them to a third and extremely long after a sack, and then they run inside zone and you stone it, and then a bust as far as how we're rushing the quarterback, and a guy just kind of leaks free, and a guy just throws it up, and they convert a first down. What's the score look like if you go get a punt right there,
Right.
and get our offense rolling? But no, absolutely. There's a lot of things we got to clean up that we were very, very far from being perfect, even after the first drive. But you clean up the first drive as far as Coach Bachman mentioned it earlier. We're misaligned on the goal line too. But they strung a good little first drive together, broke some tackles and earned it. So after that, we challenged the kids, and it's not that we changed anything, just kind of hey, this is the speed of the game. We got to go.
Yeah, and I told Coach Bogman last week that we weren't going to, bring up the senior class, from last year a lot. But, one thing about it's your first time on the show this year. You brought up the 5 sophomores that Grayson Thibodeau's now on that side of the ball. Okay. That group that you lost last year. Okay.
Yeah.
That was, I didn't realize it until I go back and watch film. I mean, that was a big group you lost.
It's a big group, but you have groups like this that are just gonna this is the beginning of it.
Right.
They're just gonna grow up together, and you got some really good ones out there anyway that have given us a bunch of varsity reps, that are providing some great leadership. But this is just the beginning, and we might be the stepchild of the group. It certainly feels that way sometimes, and we challenge our kids with that mentality too. Like, man, what you got to lose going out there? Like, just go run around. Let's have some fun. And I've enjoyed since the Acadiana game. I think they've accepted the challenge. We've had great weeks of practice. If you look at Sterlington and Westfield's our first two showings after Acadiana, and it could be absolutely the difference in opponent that you're playing against, but our kids are starting to buy in. We're changing some personnels around. We're still evaluating. But it's a great group, and it's a great depth within a lot of these groups.
Now, we were really excited because, like I said, from Acadiana to now, it has been. Let's talk about growing up. What about Xavier White? 16 tackles.
Yeah.
And, of course, he had a great linebacker right beside him last year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about X.
Coach Russo did such a good job talking about him last week. What X does, it's not just that he's a really good football player. It's the fact that he makes other people around him a lot better too. It's not just the guy that's out there, but man, the other 10 guys that are on the field with him, he's bringing another level of energy to them, providing leadership. Just a really good. I heard Darius and them. It's crazy to me that the offensive guys would think of him as the hype guy too.
Right.
He really is. He's just such a good vibe to be around. He's fun to coach. Coach Russo mentioned not all kids can do it with that great personality. They just flip the switch when it's time to be serious. Like, hey, let's lock back in. And just he's a blast to coach and a great football player. And I can't wait to see. I think this season's about to be a huge one for X.
Let's talk about another one that just has a motor that never stops, and that's Jordan Mason. 9 tackles, last week. I mean, between him
Yeah.
and Grayson, I mean, it was like, hey, we'll just meet in the
Yeah,
backfield.
and you don't see it very often from a nose guard.
Right,
He's
right.
playing a zero. For the most part, we might have slanted here and there versus what they were doing. But Jordan Mason's one that he practices that way. He is tough as nails. Like he's played through some injuries past couple weeks, had some ankle problems, and man, he just wars up for you. And he's just such a solid kid. Great energy as well about him too. But man, he anchors in the middle of that defense and he wars up for you.
Coach Bachman babysitting your dog. Yeah, tell her, come on.
Come on. Come on, sis. Come on, sis. Come sit.
And who's this?
This is Josephine Valley. It's my little girl. Say hey.
Say hello.
Say hey. There you go.
That's what I'm talking about, live TV. And congratulations, you have
Yeah,
another
got a
one?
little boy too. Yeah, I got Lennox Cove out there. Lennox just turned 5 months yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. And I'm just gonna tell you before you know it, you'll be paying college bills.
Oh
Just
yeah.
just for the
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be paying for themselves. But all right, so we talked about, the seniors, we talked about Grayson, we talked about, Jordan, we talked about X.
hmm
Let's talk about this sophomore class.
Okay.
Let's start with Jackson Townsend.
Oh, yeah. You talk about a cerebral young man. Been around him, since a little bit before his freshman year. Just a really, really locked in player, extremely intelligent. He gets a great bit of sarcasm from his linebacker coach with Coach Russo. Plays golf with Coach Russo, so there's a really good connection between those two guys. He just does such a great job with. He's gotten better at tackling. He's a great athlete. But man, he's done such a good job communicating. You see him against Sterlington. He starts communicating things to the defensive line behind him. He just does such a good job for us.
Does he let Coach Russo win?
No, I don't think. I think it's an ongoing thing every day. Yeah,
Okay.
between the two of them.
I can handle that. If you're that good of a player, you could take the coach down. All right, talk about the interception. I mean,
Jayton
yeah.
in like the beginning of it, I mean, it's teach tape. It's kind of what we would talk about. We put it up on tape. He does a great job at the line of scrimmage. He step replaces, with a quick 45 skate right after that. He's impeding his release from playing press man. He's walling to the outside, and he does not peek over his shoulder until he is perfect phase. He's leaning on the receiver with his hand on him to where he can peek it, and then just goes and he's an ex receiver, and then goes and makes a play on the ball, which is awesome for us. So it's not just like the ball was not greatly thrown. He just does a great job on it. So.
That's exactly what I said when it happened. I said everything exactly like that. You know what I was worried about? Did he hold on to it?
Yeah, hold on to it.
I did say he had great position, but I was worried if he held on because our angle was hard to tell. But no,
Yeah.
she's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine. So like I said, we talked about this sophomore class a lot in the Acadiana scrimmage, also a lot in the Jamboree, and I mean it's just a good group for you.
Yeah, they're fun to coach. They
Mhm.
might be young, but I think we're going to grow up together, and they're just so much fun to coach. They're always wanting to receive the information. They enjoy the feedback, whether it's not always nice. At times, we don't always give it in a certain way, but
Sure.
the passion that we give it with, man, they want to receive it, and they want to know where they can go improve on.
Let's talk about Jay Lou. Moved him from safety to
Yeah,
corner.
you never know. It could be something different every single week. He's a guy that's just he can do both things. He's a great cover, player. Does a really good job in stick. Hang on, sis. He does a great job staying attached to people. But the need that we need to feel at times, if we feel like we need to do something with him, and he's just a guy that just is intelligent enough to fit within the system and fit within the coverage that we're going to be playing. He's like, hey, coach, I can go there. Motion happens here. We might bump you up to safety. That's fine. I'll just be able to check the coverage. And he's smart enough to be able to do those things. And it's really comforting. Yeah. Just work that out, guys. Y'all work it out in the back half, and they can do that, which is fun.
Good. Well, before we let you go, let's talk about Union Parish.
Okay.
What do you see on their offense that
I think it's extremely similar to Sterlington.
Yes.
They fit some things differently as far as how they're blocking things, but a very, very similar thing. They do a great job in the weight room. They do a great job with their offensive line and how they're crawling off on people. I'm really excited to see how our guys respond to the things that we covered against Sterlington. I'm excited to see the things that we had to correct against Sterlington and see if we can't go get it done against these guys. But I think it's a great group that we're fixing to go against. We're going to have to war up, but it's going to, get us ready for the future wars we're going to have.
Their five offensive linemen are seniors.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, the right tackles is a really big, but
Yeah.
their size across the board for a 2A school.
Absolutely.
And then you add that tight end number 10, who's
big old tight end.
I mean, he's a sixth lineman.
He really is. He really is, and they'll throw the football to him.
Yeah.
It's not just like
Yeah.
they'll actually throw the football to him. So, it's a big offensive line. It's going to be some adversity that hopefully we go respond to, and we go war up with those guys because I know they're used to doing that. So
yeah, it's going to be good test for you guys. And like you said, they will pick and pass, to him every once in a while. So have you played against as many teams already that's under center? You just don't see that in high school much.
Yeah,
and
no.
This is now going to be 3.
You start talking about it with some people. They're just like, man, it's just so different. The game might be trending in that direction, now. I think some people are thinking like the world is all spread these days, and yet you turn on college football and you can certainly see a certain trend in that direction. It certainly feels that way in 2-5A and guys across the state of Louisiana, the good ones in Division I Select, a lot of the good ones. So yeah, no doubt, it's just the way it happened to happen this year. But it's given our kids a really good feel for defending veer, defending toss, defending counter GT. So it's a good look for us to be able to coach it up on film with good looks that we're going against. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. Hopefully, it's really good teach tape for us as well. Things that we need to correct, and hopefully, we can go execute well enough to go get a win tomorrow.
Well, you guys definitely did well last week, and like I said, the lineman of the game and the player of the game were from your side of the ball.
I'll
So
take it.
you got big shoes to fill.
I'll take it.
He's Coach Josh Mercer, defensive coordinator for your Trojans. You're watching Thomas Bachman Show on 446 Sports.
I just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing. And baby,
This month, as we gather with the ones we love, let's take a moment to give thanks for the blessings in our lives. When it comes to protecting what matters most, trust those who care about your family as much as you do.
I'm Jason Hawk, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm here to help you protect what you hold dear.
Whether auto, home, or life, have peace of mind knowing that your family is covered today, tomorrow, and for years to come. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons, joined by the man himself, Coach Thomas Bachman, for Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing. But, Coach, we talked to Coach Merce, and I just mentioned before we move on to Union Parish, have you, just in three, between the scrimmage against Acadiana, the jamboree against Sterlington, and then last week against Westville, have you been played against a team that goes under center this much? This early in the season? Is that a trend, you think?
Oh,
or?
you're talking about all the people?
Yeah, the people you're playing against.
We better get used to it. It's kind of what our district is, so I don't know that that was by design.
Well, that's what that was going to be my question. Did you guys do that for?
You're looking for quality opponents. I think we found that. You are looking for people that are going to get you prepared, and I do think we found that. As far as obviously coming out of the scrimmage, you're tons that. All right, we've got to evaluate this. We've got to improve in these areas, and we've been trying to do that. Each and every week. So no, I don't know that it was necessarily by design. Probably just uh, you know, a convenient benefit of it. There's such a variety of style of play in this select bracket that hopefully we're in at the come November, and so we'll see it all before we get to that point. And but no, not by design.
Talking about teams that are very used to playing in November, late into the November and into December. Let's talk about the Union Parish Farmers.
Yeah,
Okay.
four straight trips to the Superdome. Finally punched through last year and won. I think it was 36-35. Went for two there with under 10 seconds, and was able to convert and won themselves the state championship last year. And been in several through the years. I mean, if you were to go back through Coach Spat's tenure there, it's not the first time. Just this run. I won't say 13. They won one. Who'd they beat in 13? I can't remember. Livonia. Didn't they beat Livonia in overtime? I think was the first, not the first state championship for Union Parish or Farmerville, but it might have been Coach Spat's first state championship there. So, yes, certainly used to playing late into the year. And,
I think
of
Livonia
all.
had Patrick Queen,
Yep.
who was playing linebacker and running
For
back
Livonia, yeah,
for Livonia.
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I'm not sure if those were the years. I mean, you'd have to go back and watch some of those films, but I do remember, them winning in around 13, 14. And the thing that playing late into the year does for you, whenever you got a senior class that's played for three straight state championships, is that's a lot of practice time where you get an opportunity to develop yourself more. I mean, that's 5 more weeks than people that don't make the playoffs. And just every week, it's another week of experience gained for those players. So, the kids that are seniors have already played 45 football games before they get to their senior year. So, those are the things that you have to look at is what is experience for a group of kids that are senior starters. Man, they played a whole bunch of football, going into this point in their senior year. So
Let's go back 1 second. The Louisiana Athletic Club keys to the game last week. First one was patience. We talked about being patient, not only as a coaching staff, but the players being patient with you guys. I think that group was very patient, especially going down early. So
yeah, patience, giving them time to grow up. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Giving them
yes,
time to get their feet wet and get experience, and that's certainly been taking place over the last couple of weeks. We'll continue to play Monday night JV and freshman games, as many as we can find, and we try and seek out some pretty good competition, in doing that. So had some more of that Monday night. Against Neville playing in LaSalle and through the early weeks of the year. So certainly hope that we're patient, but not patient to the point where we don't understand that we've got to be, we've got to make today count. There's got to be a sense of urgency. But what was another key
well,
to
the
the game?
main thing was them being patient with what they're being taught.
Yeah.
Because these young guys, they've had a lot of success up to this point. And I watched a lot of the JV games last year, and so there's going to be some adversity. So the other one was leadership, and we talked. I mean, of course, we talked. You and I
Darius
talked
and
last week.
Jimmy on, JT and Tanner. Yeah, there's good senior leadership in this group.
And we talked about, I asked all four of them, the two last week and the two this week. I said, what's the difference between last year and this year for those? All four of them to a man said accountability and responsibility. Going from being juniors to seniors.
Right now, it's their team. It's their
Right.
opportunity to leave their legacy behind, and yeah, that's encouraging to hear them say that.
And the other one was this is game 1 of 10. And I tell you, I'm excited. I've been excited all off season, but I was really excited about the defense last week. Whenever, especially after that first drive, which we talked about the circumstance. But
Yep. Hopefully, we're trending in that direction. Hopefully, we're trending in that direction. I mean, we got a challenge for us tomorrow night, and that'll be the case each and every week.
moving to Union Parish. Of course, we talked about district champs from last year. Of course, I know last year we talked about their offensive line with Coach Mercer. 5 seniors come, big offensive line. The tight end number 10, almost like a sixth offensive lineman.
Right.
What's going to be your challenge for your defensive front tomorrow night?
Well, just continuing to anchor in there. I mean, they're going to continue to come at you for 4 quarters, and just continuing to stay in the fight. I mean, that'll be it. They're going to make their first downs. Limit explosive plays. Don't give up the big, explosive. Try and limit the explosives. But the big thing is it's going to be, it's just going to keep coming at you. And so I think it's just another day of practice. I do think that our kids are used to that. Just there's some things that make you anxious. Sure. Just the week of practice. We haven't gotten a whole lot, as far as outside since Monday. Mm-hmm. So be anxious to see them get in there tomorrow night and be committed to battling like you got to battle.
Will defensive line be back to full strength, you think? Or
yeah, most of them. I don't think anybody's out of uniform as of this moment right now. They're all in uniform. We'll see what takes place over the next 24 hours. But got them all back in uniform tomorrow night and excited about that.
Saw where Union Parish plays, 5 or 6 guys on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So conditioning for them and you all. Is that something you look at, you focus on, or really?
Well, you hope you gain the advantage over 4 quarters.
Right.
That you've got more bodies that you can cycle through there. So hopefully that is an advantage for us, just not having to play a whole bunch both ways, or only situationally playing players both ways. So yeah, I certainly hope that favors us.
Offensively, quarterbacks, I mean, almost perfect last week as far as completions. They were, there were 3 incompletions.
Yeah, we've been pretty efficient through the first couple of weeks as far as attempts and completions. Hadn't been chasing the ball, hadn't been playing fetch, as we like to say. Don't want to play fetch, don't want to throw the ball and then it land on the ground and somebody chase and get it. We want completions that keeps you in rhythm. Even if it's a minimal gain, you're catching the ball, you're getting it to the official, the ball's traveling from the previous spot to a new hash. It just allows you to stay in rhythm there. So really pleased in that regard, just with how efficient we've been throwing and catching so far in this early part of the year. And we'll see if we can continue to do that tomorrow night. I don't know what the weather is going to be like. It's a grass field, so it's going to be a beautiful night. But what moisture has been held in the ground, and making sure we do a good job with the ball, just all those things that play a factor in the game that maybe people don't realize goes on behind the scenes. So.
Yeah. I watched the radar a lot over the past, 3 days, and it didn't look like they received a lot, so hopefully 70 degrees at kickoff. Supposed to have a little.
I know it kind of feels weird this early in the year that the weather's been so
nice, huh?
It feels. I've got a jacket on and it's week 2.
So it's going to be comfortable. So, well, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back with Coach Thomas Bachman on the Thomas Bachman Show on 446 Sports.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
This month, as we gather with the ones we love, let's take a moment to give thanks for the blessings in our lives. When it comes to protecting what matters most, trust those who care about your family as much as you do.
I'm Jason Hawk, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm here to help you protect what you hold dear.
Whether auto, home, or life, have peace of mind knowing that your family is covered today, tomorrow, and for years to come. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons for the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing. Coach, we talked about JT a little earlier. Let's talk about Vaughn. 10 carries, 58 yards. Just a bruiser. Just really puts the work in.
Yeah, got to get him healthy. He's got a little ankle, knees are bothering him a little bit. Got to get him healthy and hoping that comes through. Trying to be smart with him throughout the week of practice. Obviously, as we talk, being anxious about, what practices look like this week with the weather, not being able to get as much as you want. The benefit of that is maybe we've got a chance to get a couple of these guys that are just suffering a little bit here and there, chance to get healthy a little bit. And he's certainly one of them that I hope we can get completely healthy so that he can really showcase what he is, and we can really get that 1-2 punch between he and JT rolling. But 10 for 58 on a bad will, pretty good.
Yeah, very good. And Jimmy had 3 for 18. Average 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, we hadn't ran a whole bunch of plays, even in the jam.
Yes.
We shut it down I say shut it down. You're subbing and shutting it down there early, second half, second quarter, basically there in the jam. And, you go back and chart, it wasn't a whole bunch of plays with the first group. Drives were short, good field position, because of the block punt or,
right.
Turnovers and the explosives. They were just short drives. So we didn't get a chance to run a whole bunch of plays. So some of these touches are limited. Hopefully, we can begin to increase the offensive snaps. I'll take the short drives.
That's right.
I'm not talking, but, you do anticipate that happening where, you go from, in the 30s where it's all the ones out there, you're getting 30 snaps to where ideally, you get into some of these ball games, that's going to push 70 snaps.
I was going to ask,
so
what is the, okay.
Depending on the tempo you're playing with, you'd like to get 70 plus offensive snaps. It means that you're making some first downs, you're getting some opportunities at possessions. And, this game will have its own flow. They're going to huddle and they're going to try and bleed the clock. And, not that I'm necessarily going to sit in the clock and just run it all the way down, but that naturally happens when you're a huddle football team. And, if that were to be the case and they make a couple of first downs, you're talking about a half a quarter to more,
right.
Coming off the clock. So, got to make the most of our possessions. But, ideally you would say, hey, how do we go get 70 plus snaps in a 4-quarter football game? Would not be something outside the norm. I remember, I want to say a couple years ago against St. Thomas More, we had over 90, maybe in that 22 ball game, So it all just depends on game flow, but those are two fast-paced offenses going back and forth. So, game flow is something that is you got to adjust as you get into it.
44 yards, 44 points on 43 plays. Of course, one of the, you had a field goal, then you had a kickoff return.
On 43 plays, we had 2 possessions that were 3 and outs there at the end of the game. So now you're at 37 snaps. We got 1 there where it's kind of a mixture of groups that were another. So you're in the low 30s where you're talking about your full force, rock and roll, and playing with tempo, sense of urgency, and that's just not a whole bunch of plays.
That's efficiency, though. That's real efficiency.
Yep.
So.
Short fields too. That leads to it. Some of those possessions were starting inside the plus 40, and when you do have explosive plays, those drives don't last long. One of them we had a penalty on the reverse. We get a procedure penalty, and then the next play we throw Darius the bubble and he does the rest. That's a 2-play drive, but really on the stat sheet, it's a 1-play drive.
So let's talk about the offensive line. We hadn't talked about the offensive line, so we talked about last week replacing 3. What's from Acadiana till last Friday? What's your biggest improvement on offensive line?
I felt good about the group going into Acadiana, to be honest with you. The more snaps they get, the better they'll get playing alongside each other. Uh, I don't know that I can point to anything that say this is the biggest improvement other than more snaps, gel as a unit. We'll continue to harp on the fundamentals and pad level and areas where we can improve. Their defensive front gave you a whole bunch of movement last week, and so sometimes that uh, can be interesting for the guys. Whenever people are doing some of that stuff, we certainly experienced a bunch of that, but. Uh, Excited about what the group can become. I'll tell you that much. Excited about what the group is, but really excited about if we can just have that continuity where we stay healthy and we're just every day at practice and proving every week in the games, you're just continuing to improve. And, I've seen a lot of groups come a long way over the course of the season. I don't see how this group's going to be any different. And they have some size and athleticism that maybe we haven't had from tackle to tackle.
Right. Let's talk about your new coaches. Well, let's talk about your coaching staff in general, but your new coaches this early in the season. What's your new coaches that you brought on?
Whew, you put me on the spot there. I got to think back through who's obviously.
I can thank our producer for that one.
We've talked about Coach Webb and how excited we are to add him. How excited I am what he's doing with the tight ends. Willing to jump in, willing to help. Easy to have a football conversation with. You're not teaching him the game of football. He's not a guy that's you know you're coaching through. Like he can go coach. Hey, coach.
Right.
We're a gap scheme, power, whatever. We're pin and pull. Here's how we're doing this stuff. And then he can go take it and run with it and improve his position group. As far as film breakdown and self scout and all that stuff, I mean, just can take it and run with it. So, been a really huge addition there. Just the knowledge of football. Kyle on the defensive side of the ball is one that sticks out to me. We tried to get Kyle before last year. Kyle is originally from Missouri, played, I want to say Division II ball, but, played college football, loves football. And I've been extremely impressed with him and what he's brought to the table in special teams, coaching the secondary. I don't know if you and Coach Merce talked about him or not, but has just really, when you get a group of guys and there's good chemistry and good camaraderie because everybody's about the work.
Right.
Nobody's, I guess we all have egos, but it just doesn't feel like it's a whole bunch of egos. Everybody's out for hey, we want the end result.
Right.
We want the goal. And I think Kyle brings a lot to the table in that. He's been awesome. We got Coach Wilk is helping us with the receivers, and I've been just extremely impressed with him and the job that he does, the quality of man that he is and what he's brought to the table. Like really, really excited about him. I think that's the new ones that it's fresh faces, as far as this year. But he's an Ash grad. He's not new. He's new to our staff. He's not new to Ash. I mean, he graduated from Ash. So yeah.
Okay, well, Coach, we definitely appreciate that. That's going to wrap up our show. Second edition of the
Goes fast.
Thomas Bachman Coach Show here at Walk-Ons, brought to you by Sadler's Towing. So look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night, hopefully in person. But if you're not able to be there, watch us right here on 446 Sports.